Can you skip taking notes with this recorder? Let's find out. Dave Taylor here, and this time I'm looking at this little guy. This is the Dictopro X100 voice-activated recorder. And as you can see, it is pretty darn small. In fact, it's 3.5 inches by 1.4 inches, and it weighs 7.2 ounces. So this is a really tiny specialized little device. Here's what it does. It records voice. Now, it can record other things, but it's really designed for voice. So if you're in college and you want to be able to catch those lectures so you can listen to them again later, if you're in a meeting, if you're actually meeting up with someone and you want to just surreptitiously catch what they're saying, all of these can be covered with this little device. So, features 2 microphones and an internal noise reduction circuitry system, and it can work voice activated, what they call voice operated recording. The user interface is super frustrating and confusing, but we'll come back to that. So you can do voice activated, or you can just do timed, or you can do push record to start it, push record to stop it. Actually, that's not how you stop it. Again, the interface is a little confusing. And you can also do line in recording. There's actually a line in jack, which gives you the option of recording phone calls, which is interesting. So with phone calls, it comes with a bunch of different stuff. So let me open up the box and show you. With a phone call, you basically route your phone. This would be a hardwired landline. You route your phone through, open it up. Haven't tried this. I don't have a landline, so I can't really test it. But here we go. So you plug your phone into this, and so you plug like the wall into this, into your phone, and then there's an audio out on this, so you can use this combined with this to record both ends of a conversation. Now, do be careful because there are laws around that, and I believe in most states you have to get the agreement of the other party. Check for your state. Don't just assume that's going to be okay, particularly if you're going to use it for like court or law purposes or anything. Up to you. While I'm at it though, let me show you what else is in the box. Comes with a lot of stuff. So let's see. We shall fling those to the winds. So first off, micro USB charging. On the very bottom is the charging port. And I'm going to get to some examples in just a sec. This is the phone recording system, 3.5 to 3.5 millimeter for that. Little tiny phone jack gizmo with those old phone connectors on it. I haven't had a phone like that in a long time. And it comes with earbuds so you can monitor. But of course, its primary purpose, in my opinion, is not to do with recording phone conversations. It's to record meetings and lectures and all that sort of stuff. So, operation is not super easy, but you figure it out. So, on one side, so first off, I just want to say, you can see that there are these silver circles on both sides. As far as I can tell, they have no purpose at all. It's just design. So, that's okay, right? So, on the top, you have line in and you have headphones jack. So, there's that. And then on the right-hand side, there's up and down and lock. Those are menu and selection options. On the left side is on and off and volume. So I'm going to turn it on. And then on the very front, you have a big record button and you have menu and play. And you sort of work around all of these different things to sort of figure out where you are and what you're trying to do. So for example, I put a music track on here. So let's hear what that sounds like. Let's see. So I'm going to put it up nice and close. So, I mean, it's not going to get any awards for audio recording quality, or I'm sorry, for audio quality, but that's okay because it's not really designed for that. So now I need to figure out how to get out of this mode. Let's try that. Okay, so, the point is you can put, for example, voice on here. You can actually put voice recordings on here and use this to monitor them. However, it only is pause play. There's no fast forward and there's no rewind. There's no like jump back 30 seconds. So if you're using this to do a transcript, you can't you can pause and catch up, but you can't say jump back 30 and let me hear that section again. So probably what you're going to do is use this for recording and then copy all the data files onto your computer and then you'll use your computer to actually do anything like that. So, speaking of which, I did actually try recording, and I kept standing and stepping further and further back to hear how it sounds and how the microphone works. So let's switch to that, and you'll be able to hear. And I'll just sit here and look at you on the camera while you listen. So give this a listen. This is an example of me talking about 3 feet from the X100. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk a little further away. So now I'm about 6 feet away. And now I'm about 10 feet away from the X100. And the question is it still recording, and can you still hear my voice? So you're hearing this sample, so you're getting an example of exactly how this thing works. So it's not bad at all, actually. The audio quality is very good. Now, what I want to do is I want to do a recording, and I have it at voice operated recording. I think of voice activated, but it's VOR, and it's working right now. So it's recording as I'm talking, but if I stop, it'll stop recording too. And of course, now it's recording again. So let's give that a quick listen. So let's see. So that's saved, and now I'm going to play it. And operated recording, I think of voice activated, but it's VOR, and it's working right now. So it's recording as I'm talking, but if I stop, it'll stop recording too. And of course, now it's recording again. So what you should have caught from that is that I had a pause in the actual talk that was longer than what it recorded, because of course it knew, and as soon as the noise level went down, it just stopped recording. So that's actually really sweet. So, you know, the functionality of this is really cool. Let me tell you just a little bit more about it now. So it can record in WAV or MP3 format, and it can record it up to 1536 kilobits per second. So it does pretty good quality. As you've already heard, that audio quality is pretty nice. Comes with 8 gig of memory, so if you use this on its lowest quality setting, you can get up to 700 hours of audio on this. Probably you're going to want to use a higher quality setting, which will cut that number down, but you can still capture hundreds of hours of audio, which is great. You could actually record every lecture in some class that you're in college, for example. It's rechargeable, the battery's already included, runs 10 hours on a charge. So basically, if you just remember every couple of days to plug it in. But here's the thing, is apparently the kind of battery tech they're using is sensitive to overcharging. So plug it in, give it 3 or 4 hours maximum, and then unplug it. Don't leave it plugged in for days on end. It's not going to actually end well. It'll just lower the lifetime of the battery. So you can hook it up to your Mac or your PC. When I hooked it up to my Mac, you can see here's what the device name was. Probably not super friendly, so I renamed it X100, easy enough. Comes with, as I said, all this other gear. If you want to be, super spy or try surveillance, that's fine. So those are all the pros of this. It's actually made out of metal. There's lots to like about it, but boy, this user interface, it is super confusing. I wish they would have maybe just put another button or two on here or something to make this easier. And making it a little worse is that the screen is just like a millimeter too high on the frame on this unit. So it shows the time, for example, but the time is actually cut off on the top. Here's a close-up so you can see what I mean. And there's really kind of no reason for that. This is just a manufacturing hiccup. But again, from a functionality perspective, it doesn't affect functionality at all. The settings and the menu and the navigation system do, but you get the hang of it after a while. It took me, honestly, probably like 15 or 20 minutes of just going back and forth and trying this button and that button, because it's just not obvious what does what. Now, one way they could address that is to actually put more than one label underneath a button. Since they have buttons that serve multiple purposes, they could actually put multiple functions as labels under each button. But they're not listening to me for design advice, I'm guessing. So it is what it is. And what this Dictopro X100, is a really nice voice recording system. If you can figure out the interface, if you can figure out how to work with it, And then you're going to get really nice recordings, and there's a huge amount of flexibility. I think it would be ridiculously easy for you to just like slide that onto the professor's podium or on the table at the front of the room and just say, if you don't mind, Prof, I just want to make a recording. It helps me study. And no one's going to care. That's fine. If you're in a meeting, you could even just leave this in front of you, and it's still going to pick up everyone in that room. So really, really great and easy to work with. There's just a couple of basic buttons you need to learn once you get all the settings configured. And again, that can be a bit of a bear, but you can get there. I have confidence that you can slog through the interface. But once you get it all set up, and honestly, almost all of the default settings are perfect. The only one that you'll have to turn on is the voice operated recording, or VOR. So if you want that, you'll have to go and enable that. But otherwise, by default, you push record and it's recording, and you push menu or play, one of those two, and it stops recording and saves the file. That's it. Then you plug it into your computer, you grab the file, good to go. All the complexity, all the other stuff is for doing additional things, which you might never do. So all worth knowing. Now, before I tell you the price of this little device, I want to ask if you can subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate when you do that. Cool. Now, this is the Dictopro X100 voice activated recorder, and it will cost you $39.97 at Amazon.com. If you have need for something like this is going to work way better than your phone. And frankly, it also means that you don't have to leave your phone in strange places in like a lecture hall. You don't want your phone sitting up front and then you go to get it and it's gone. That would be bad. This is considerably less expensive than a brand new iPhone XS. So definitely worth checking out if you have a need for for audio recording. And with that, I will catch you in my next video.